Frame, look at any bike. Strip everything off it, on wheels, seat, all of it. What's left is a shape you already know by heart. Two triangles, that's the frame, the diamond frame. It showed up on the Rover safety bicycle in 1885. And here's the part that should stop you. It has barely changed in almost 140 years. Steel became aluminum, aluminum became carbon fiber, but the shape? The shape stayed. Because a triangle is the one shape that refuses to deform under load. Push on it, pull on it, it holds. They tried to reinvent it, over and over. Engineers, brands, millions of dollars. And they keep landing back on two triangles. Some designs are just finished. This is one of them. Wheels. Now here's a lie your eyes have been telling you your whole life. You think you sit on top of the wheels. You don't. You hang from them. A bike wheel is a bunch of thin steel spokes under massive tension. And the counterintuitive truth, the spokes at the bottom aren't holding you up. The ones at the top are. You're literally hanging from the upper spokes, like a load dangling from a wire. The whole wheel is a tension machine. The spokes are wires and you swing under them. Think about how insane that is. Those little steel threads look like they'd snap. Instead, they carry you, a full-grown adult, over potholes for years. Because tension is stronger than it has any right to be. Tires. Put your hand flat on a table. That patch, roughly, is all that connects you to the road. At any speed, on any corner. That much rubber, that's it. The tire that made this possible is the pneumatic tire, the one filled with air. John Boyd Dunlop patented it in 1888 because his kid's tricycle rattled his teeth out on the cobblestones. He wrapped the wheels in inflated rubber tubes and suddenly the ride went soft. And here's the thing nobody thinks about. It's not the rubber holding you up, it's the air. The rubber is just the balloon. You ride on a cushion of air the size of your palm, let that sit. Everything, braking, cornering, your whole life on that bike, rides on a handful of air. Pedals. The pedal seems too obvious to have a story. It doesn't. It's got a violent one. For about the first 50 years, pedals were bolted straight onto the front wheel. One push, the wheel turned once. That's why the penny farthing grew that monster front wheel. Bigger wheel, more distance per pump. It wasn't until the chain came along that pedals moved to the middle where they belong. And then, 1984, a ski binding company called Look did something wild. They clipped your foot to the pedal. Locked in, clipless pedals, straight off the ski slope, the detail that terrifies every beginner. Once you're clipped in, stopping means twisting your heel out first. Forget, and you tip over at 0 miles an hour in front of everyone still attached to the bike. Every clipless rider has done it. Every one. Chain. This little greasy loop is one of the most efficient machines humans have ever built. No exaggeration, almost nothing beats it. The roller chain was patented by Hans Reynold in 1880, and it's the single part that killed the penny farthing. Once you could run a chain from pedals in the middle to a gear on the back wheel, you didn't need a giant front wheel anymore. The chain did the multiplying instead, and the number is almost unfair. A clean, well-oiled bike chain transfers up to 98% of your leg power to the road. A car engine? Barely 40. Think about that next time you skip cleaning it. That black gunk you ignore is riding on one of the most efficient power transfer systems ever invented, and it costs 20 bucks. Brakes. For most of cycling history, braking was a suggestion. Not a guarantee, a suggestion. The old coaster brake, from 1898, worked by pedaling backwards, no lever at all. Then came rim brakes, squeezing the wheel itself. Then borrowed straight from motorcycles, the disc brake, a metal rotor at the hub, clamped by a caliper, unbothered by rain or mud. But here's the wild part. The pros fought it hard. Road racing's governing body, the UCI, only fully allowed disc brakes in the peloton on July 1st, 2018. 2018. The technology existed for decades on your car, and the fastest cyclists on Earth were still scrubbing speed with rubber pads on a wet rim. Why the fear? In a tight pack at 40 miles an hour, one rider braking harder than everyone else isn't safety. It's a pileup. A racer got sliced by a rotor at Paris-Roubaix in 2016, and the whole thing got frozen for years. Handlebars. You think handlebars are for steering. Steering is the least of it. The bar decides who you are on that bike. Flat bar, you sit up, relaxed, cruising. Drop bars, those curled under road bars, fold you forward into a tuck, and that came straight off the velodrome, the racing track, where every inch of wind matters. Riser bars pull you upright for control on a mountain. Same two hands, completely different human. The bar sets your posture sets your aerodynamics, and aerodynamics is the entire game once you're moving. So the shape of that one metal tube quietly decides how fast you go, how long your back lasts, and whether you look like a commuter or a missile before you turn a single pedal. Saddle. And we've arrived at the part everybody complains about, nobody understands, and no two people can agree on. The seat. Here's the origin nobody expects. Brooks, the leather company, was founded in 1866 by a man named John Boltby Brooks. And get this, it didn't make bike seats, it made harnesses for horses. Then in 1878, his horse died. He couldn't afford another one, so he rode a bike to work instead, and hated the wooden seat so much he swore he'd build something better. By 1882, he'd patented his first leather bicycle saddle. Grief, basically, invented the good seat. And that leather saddle does something no other part does. Over hundreds of miles, it slowly molds to your body, like a shoe breaking in. It stops being a generic seat and becomes yours. Only yours. Next video, every bike gear system explained, and why 21 speeds never actually meant 21 speeds.